Yehoshua and Rav Papa seem to be more in accordance with Aristotle's suggestion that something small like bread, or at least a dish of cereals, should suffice for treatment. But probably Rav Huna Maria de Rav Yehoshua adds fine flour with honey for people who cannot afford the fat sheep steak, and Rav Papa makes it even cheaper by recommending barley flour with honey. While the first two remedies are transmitted in Hebrew, the last one is transmitted in Aramaic. Not only the remedies of the Amoraim and the Ma'asim following them reflect the treatment of bulmos with either a large or small amount of food, but it is also present in the halachic discourse. If we have tevel and separate the mandatory portions, the chulin may not suffice for the patient, and he ends up eating both. Having stated the remedies against bulmos, the Bavli continues its sugya by depicting an incident with Rabbi Yochanan who was seized by bulmos. In the version of the Yerushalmi, he ate all kinds of fruits he could find. That he ate non-kosher fruits is not explicitly in the story, but this might be implied through the term hakol. However, in Bavi's account of the story, Rabbi Yochanan ran to the east side of a fig tree because he knew that the sweetest fruits were grown there, which is supported by a verse from Devarim. The version of the Midrash Kohelet is similar to that of the Bavli. In Kohelet Rabbah, we are told that Rabbi Yochanan is on his way to probably Emmaus when bulmos seized him. He sat on the east side of the fig tree and was healed. In Kohelet Sutta, it is not Rabbi Yochanan, but Rabban Yochanan ben Zakkai who is attacked. Only in the Bavi's version and in the Midrashim, Rabbi Yochanan ate foods clearly specified, namely figs. And it was actually one who drew my attention to the fact that here, maybe similar to the fig-carrying animals in Xenophon, the figs trigger the disease. In other words, Rabbi Yochanan's desire for figs could have evoked the disease in the first place, and then he needs the figs as cure to it. And maybe as a side remark, as for desire, in the Midrash Rabbah, bulmos appears as a sexual desire, and it is stated, whoever is aflame with adulterous desire is eventually fed with his own flesh. We have something maybe in the Greek tradition, and it is Ovid who narrates the story of the insatiable Eresichthon with his death by autophagy. Now we come to the travel element, a quite stable element of the bulmos tradition which keeps on reappearing in some of the Greek texts is the topic of traveling or being on the road when bulmos occurs. Oribasius, a physician from the 3rd century BCE, drawing on Galen and Helios' bulmos, depicts people being on the road when bulmos attacks them and writes, "We will come to help those who are attacked by being on a journey." Bulmos is an issue to be reckoned with if people run out of food when they are on a journey. Also in other tractates, like in Ta'anit, running out of food is a natural concern when being on the road. In Ta'anit, fasting is also connected with a medical question. According to the Palestinian tradition, so the Bavi, Rav Papa ate every parasam a piece of bread so that his food would last. According to the Babylonian tradition, he did so because he feared bowel trouble, because he didn't want to change his diet. In Yoma, not only Rabbi Yochanan was traveling, but also the two Tanaim Rabbi Yuda and Rabbi Yossi were attacked by bulmos on the road, in a story told by the Bavli. Rabbi Yuda and Rabbi Yossi were walking on the street when bulmos seized Rabbi Yuda. He overpowered the shepherd and devoured his bread. Rabbi Yossi said to him, "You have robbed the shepherd." As they entered the city, bulmos seized Rabbi Yossi. They brought him all sorts of foods and dishes, whereupon Rabbi Yuda said to him, "I may have deprived the shepherd, but you have deprived the whole town." Unfortunately, stories reporting the changes of sages are very common in Jewish literature. That means that the topic of being on the road, as it appeared here, does not necessarily belong to the borrowed elements of the Greek bulmos tradition. On the other hand, our bulmos tales might also be good examples for successful, controlled incorporation where it is not possible anymore to prove a foreign element. Plutarch, retelling Xenophon's account, states that the troops of Brutus begged for bread from the enemy's side of the town when bulmos seized them. maybe our Rabbi Yehuda, maybe he had a worse Bulmos because he did not seem to be in a condition in which he could politely ask the shepherd for bread, here indicated by the term Gefach. That one should not steal is evident, but if one is attacked by Bulmos, he is probably not in his right mind, and nothing helps but a quick food intake. Rabbi Yehuda comments comically on his colleague's behavior. You did criticize me for my deed, but you threatened the food resources of a whole town. Like in Callimachos' poem about the Sichtron, who was struck by an insatiable hunger and assimilated with the demon Prostis, also the two Tanaim play a double role. They are victims, but then they threaten the household of others. This highlights also the characteristic of Bulmos as a kind of demonic possession. In the end, I want to say that since some literary elements of Bulmos from the Greek tradition are present in rabbinic literature, it seems that the Talmudim and the Midrashim are not bad historians in terms of this phenomenon. However, my talk today does not really fit the title of the conference, Medical Knowledge from Ancient Babylonia to Talmudic Babylonia. As for my talk, I should better rephrase Daniel Boyarin's question, how much Hellenized medicine in Babylonia? Regarding Bulmos as a medical issue, I should say probably not that much, since the bulk of the material of Bulmos seems to have entered the Bavli via sources from Palestine, while in the Bavli, as usual, a few remedies are inserted. But on the other hand, the subject of Bulmos was taken up willingly by the Bavli. Bulmos is used as something to think with for establishing its hierarchy of food categories according to stringency. After all, we are not really left with a finalized hierarchy, neither in the Yerushalmi nor in the extensive discussion of the Bavli. This might be due to the open-ended nature of rabbinic literature, or because in the end a hierarchy is not that important at all. They refuse the Mishnah's suggestion by applying rather rabbinical and biblical prohibitions. Or maybe as a third possibility, the narratives counterbalance the discussions on food category. The last story emphasizes the mental impairment when someone is seized as Bulmos, which makes the stringent application of the law not possible anymore. Thank you very much.